Tusk, and they have a really strong support for Aki early on. And this time I mean, this game already can't even be close to similar to the last one. I can't imagine the draft turning out in a way where 4Clovers can exploit Alliance's draft like last time. So they're off to a better start now, in my opinion. Actually, ban Gyro. 4Clovers do have the next pick.
Yeah. So Alliance, do you feel like they're giving anything away about how they're going to lane in terms of, I'm going to say, dual lanes coming out? This is not necessarily your tri-lane setup, regardless. Right?
Do they ever play the Tusk on Bulldog?
I think rarely.
Rarely.
I think, yeah, minus definitely playing.
So they're showing their support hand, basically.
Yeah.
But when you show, I think if you have to show, if it's between like showing 2 cores or 2 supports in the start, most often you would favor 2 supports because it doesn't give away as much info about laning.
I'm not sure what Bulldog's gonna play this game with. They're just, you know, banning all of his heroes right now.
Prophet? Still in?
Yeah, I suppose.
Beastmaster?
Beastmaster, that's probably it.
Beastmaster could be good.
Do you feel like Beastmaster might be slightly countered, at least later on in the stages of the game, by the Night Stalker?
Yeah,
you do see
absolutely.
that
I mean, the Hawk is almost useless during Darkness, so.
Drow Ranger.
What's the story with that plan?
Beastmaster lets you group up and push towers, though, with Necros, which is something you want to do against Night Stalker.
Yeah.
So Drow was played once in the major by Alliance. I believe they also lost that game.
They got crushed that game. It was
And I don't think they ran it.
They got nothing.
Oh,
in that
Drow
game.
versus Huskars.
Yeah, it's
not where you wanna
impossible
be.
matchup.
Drow's pretty niche pick. Like it's, I think the hero's definitely good, and like in certain Drow, like we saw a lot of Drow Visage out of VP, and those lineups work. Like you get a Drow all through laning phase, her and her entire team are super strong. Windranger's pretty good. One of the harder heroes for Bane to zone out of the mid lane if they choose to do a dueling mid with Bane.
Pretty good against the split push as well, if you have the mid-sucker vision.
Okay.
Oh, there is your Bulldog hero.
There we go.
Lone Druid.
And I think in this version, with how the game gets played right now, it's very rarely that I would advise teams to put Lone Druid in the off lane, unless if you're able to, if the enemy support duo can't really deal with you just constantly side pulling with the bear and you can get some experience.
He usually
this
does
hero is
pretty
just,
well in the offlane.
Yeah.
He's
We have,
the best for sure.
We've actually seen Alliance play Lone Druid in League play as well, where they put Lone Druid on the safe lane and they just
I
run
would
dual mid,
definitely
dual off lane.
do that.
Dual mid, dual off, aggro try, soul mid.
The problem that they had in that specific game is that he was up against a Clockwork. He dominated that lane, like actually crushed.
NIP's
Clock. He actually crushed the Clockwork.
It was like 30 CS to 2 at one point.
Yeah.
Oh, Abaddon.
Equal denied.
So
Okay.
we are going to see Admiral Bulldog on the Tusk, or the offlane Abaddon, or the offlane Bane.
No, it could be Loda Abaddon. He loves that hero.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not a fan of
You're not?
Core Abaddon. Yeah, I'm not.
You know what? Maybe we'll see something new. Why not?
Core Tusk. Mid lane
I think
Tusk.
Core Tusk is likely.
I think this is one of those games where you look over Alliance's lineup and it actually, they don't even need to, how to explain this? They don't need to play any of these 3 heroes as a core. Do you know what I mean? Like they can even spread the farm out across these 3 heroes because all they need is for Lone Druid to get big and hit a timing with pushing the towers.
When they play support Tusk, that's usually how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just runs around, gets kills, gets mana boots, works
So-
towards a macro.
Mech is very good this game though, so perhaps for that reason they could prioritize Tusk and just secure themselves the ability to push early.
Is the main reason they picked Abaddon to remove the minus armor from the bear?
It's very good against Amplify damage, Silence from Night Stalker, counter Shackle Shot, and the fact that Abaddon can cast it while he's stunned, right? So even if you get Shackle to your target, you could just break it with your ultimate and counter the other target. So it's very difficult for 4Clovers to engage. Now keep in mind, you can't break silences with his ult. So if he gets Crippling Feared, that's actually a guarantee for 4Clovers that they have at least 5 seconds in nighttime to be able to do something.
At the same time, if Abaddon gets Crippling Fear, you can't Crippling Fear the Bane, and he's going to control everybody in your team.
Yeah, I think it's more
They have
about
solutions.
getting rid of the amplified damage because once Lone Druid uses, what's it, Roar? No,
I mean, it's a rough Lone Druid game so far, I think.
What's it called?
Battle Call, Battle Cry.
Battle Cry.
You
Battle
just
Cry.
get like 1 billion armor and he just like doesn't die. So I think amp damage being removed is a
Rounding
big
up.
deal. Yeah,
It's like 20, right?
Yeah, it's like
20
Billion,
billion. Close enough. I mean, at a certain point, it feels like yeah, they also just take away the dazzle as well to protect more armor.
Alright, so your Lone Druid is pushing the high ground. He has that Abaddon shielding him. What do you do? What's your hero to like stop Lone Druid?
Shaker with a fissure to block it inside the base, kill it off.
Shackle him after
There
they
you
get
go.
rid of the amplified damage with the shield, so the shield's on cooldown.
hitting that sweet spot, that 4-second interval, just go all in. I mean, it has to be what 4Clovers are thinking about. It's the only play Alliance's draft has.
When the other team picks Abaddon, there's a very real possibility you can win all 3 lanes. So I think they should probably just pick up another damage core and just see how much farm they can get out of laning phase. And I'm not sure how much impact Lone Druid can do in a game like this.
Just go greedy.
Yeah, I would get really greedy here on 4CL. Run like the off lane Slardar and get another
Jungle Axe.
Yeah, that's the best thing you can do against Abaddon is like don't worry about like single target stuns, just get like lots and lots of like damage, like right click.
What's your favorite for this one? For 4Clovers, what do you think?
I mean, a hero that 4CL likes a lot is Wraith King.
Ember Spirit can be okay.
Templar Assassin.
Okay, we just list out 3
Yeah,
different
I was
heroes.
gonna say, if it's not gonna be one of those, it's a Treant Protector.
So Core Night Stalker.
Yeah.
So
Treant though, that's
Okay.
That's crazy.
The push is going to be insane from Alliance.
It is low to
I
Abaddon.
keep seeing people play Treant, I'm just like, why not me?
I'm just saying.
What do you make of the last pick, the Leshrac? Good, bad? Nice, fun, interesting?
I think they were.
Any
It's
of the
amazing.
above?
It's amazing against the
Time to
Treant
push. Low to Abaddon. Called it. What a genius.
Man.
Well, we're gonna find out what do you think is the magical timing for Alliance? Are they gonna have something to look forward to? Because obviously, pushing down towers, you have to do it in one go, otherwise they'll be healed up again. But what do we look forward to seeing from Alliance?
I actually think this Treant last pick doesn't really serve its purpose in this game because Alliance will be able to push the towers down in one go with Edict now that they picked the Leshrac. So I don't, like Peter said, if they would have picked a more greedy last hero so they could have played for later on, it would have been fine. But Treant doesn't scale very well against this Alliance lineup, so I don't think they have that timing anymore.
Night Stalker could have ran around the map as like as a support, done whatever he wanted this game. But now he's on
What to look out for, Lumi? One thing?
Low to Abaddon.
Low to Abaddon.
I don't know what to say, man.
It is time for Game 2, Alliance versus 4Clovers with Odie, Pixel, and Draskell.
Indeed, welcome back to the casting desk with myself, Odie, Pixel, and Draskell. Game 2 between Alliance and 4Clovers, and we're seeing the load at Abaddon. Talk to me about it, Andy. Is it the hero?
I mean, I like the hero. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like playing the hero a lot. But is it the hero? I guess we're going to have to find out. Because, I mean, this is something that I don't get a chance to see too often in terms of lineup. Like, what Alliance are running is drastically different from what they did in the first game. Cinder already mentioned it on the panel. Like, this is a little bit off-center in terms of overall draft. But they do have some ridiculous 5-man potential. Their ability to push, take towers, and their tankiness as well. Like, you have Lone Druid, Abaddon, Bane, Tusk. These are 4 durable heroes. And Leshrac, obviously, is going to build into a tank on top of that. So this 4CL lineup who are meant to run at you, like you're running into a lineup of maybe 4 of the tankiest early game heroes that you could possibly put together. So for me, I'm just curious to see how it works out.
This is going to be a very, very interesting game between these two sides, and a lot on the line for them here. 4Clovers looking to take this through and getting themselves into the upper stages. Obviously, Alliance, if they do drop this game, they will have a second chance here at this tournament, as they will, of course, play up against the losers of OG versus Empire, which will be the series coming up after this one. Here we go as we get this game underway. And I mean, as well, talking about the picks of Alliance, S4 Leshrac. We did see the hero come out a few times at the major. Notable performances, of course, CTY for eHome had a fantastic game on it. Is this the game for Leshrac? We obviously heard on the panel that they were talking about how it can deal and have that pushing potential, that the Treant isn't as much of an issue because you can commit to a tower push with the Diabolic Edict. Is it going to be enough, though, against 4Clovers?
That is all very true. Like what Cinder brought up in the 5-man potential is a great point. Usually when you're playing against Tree, you want to just go as 5. Just kill the tower and 1 push. That's the most important thing, because that way the Tree armor is never going to be able to heal it back up. But I think that 4CL has picked this for more of a lane-dominant type of hero, because if you look at Alliance right now, they have a Abaddon farming, and then they have a Tusk, which are 2 melee heroes. So Tree is actually fairly good at bullying those types of heroes in the early game. So I'm looking to EGM to actually have some lane presence here and try to act as more of like a, what a Night Stalker would do, even though they have the hero on their team as well.
Oh, and look at that. According to the stats, Loda hasn't played this in competitive since 2013.
All right.
He's got a 66% win rate over 3 games, though.
So he's won 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That's not bad. And that's all you got to win a best of 3. So we'll see if that transfers here into this series. Mid lane, the matchup. You're going to have Pycat on this Wind Ranger up against S4's Lesh. And Saxa on the Wyvern once again, Ake on the Bane. We know Ake's Bane is strong, but we also know from game 1 that Saxa, he knows what he's doing on this Wyvern.
I think it's probably his best hero, actually, of everything that I've seen him play. And I mean, he plays a lot of really good heroes. It doesn't really have to be Wyvern, but to get this 2 games in a row, I think 4Clovers are going to be happy with it. Stun going to miss here. Close call, though. Saxa could have been in trouble if that landed.
And worth noting as well is pretty much exactly what the panel and PPD were talking about. The fact that they're leaving Bulldog in the safe lane, giving him priority in terms of farm. Nuts is going to be around there as well. And they're going to put Loader up against EGM and Nikwa on this Slardar Tree and Protector combination. It looks like Ake's going to head his attention down there and provide Loader with a bit more, but kind of support in this lane.
He's actually even opted to skill level 1 Curse, which you don't see too much. Typically it's shield, just so you can run into
Top
people.
lane, Bambo's actually been trapped up in the shards here. Nuts, he's got a snowball as well. This could be a first blood. One more touch should do it, and he'll get it. Nuts there, securing the first blood for Alliance and punishing Bambo on his off-lane Night Stalker.
So the one thing, if you look at the way the 4CL are rotating now, they actually have 3 heroes bottom because of how hard Alliance's lane is to actually zone out. So they need both supports down here to ensure that Nico can actually get some farm. And a lot of the times, we don't see position 1 Slardar anymore. Okay, that was close. He lost vision for a second there, I think.
That was a level 2 power shot, so I think that would have done it if it connected. Top lane again, we're seeing more action as they're moving in onto Bambo, forcing him back. And Bambo's got to be very careful in this lane. We've already seen how potent Nuts can be just on his own. You throw in an involvement from the lone druid and suddenly a lot of trouble going down mid lane. Pycat able to get himself away. Only level 1 at the moment in this lightning storm, so wouldn't have been enough damage here from S4 to get the kill. But CS-wise in the mid lane, 8 for 3, 8 for 2, fairly even between these 2 heroes.
Yeah, it's close. I think S4 said he still likes to go the lightning storm build, so maybe he won't get Edict super early, and will just try to farm up, get himself a little bit tankier, and then get Edict a little bit later on. But I think the 5-man is going to be crazy hard for 4CL to stop. They do have Power Shot, though, and they have Splinter Blast, one of the better deep pushing abilities.
Top lane again, moving in onto Bambo. He's in a lot of trouble. Another kill for Alliance. And in the lane that it counts as well, any involvement they can get from Bulldog, the fact that he's getting that extra bit of gold and getting that momentum that he needs on the lone druid, it's got to be something that 4Clovers should be very, very aware of and potentially going to be planning to do something about as the game goes on.
Very similar to last game, where I was talking about how I didn't really see many places for the Spirit Breaker to get a whole lot of work done. It could be a very similar game for Bambo here in game number 2 for 4CL.
Bottom lane, we quit. 12 for 4 at the moment compared to the 7 for 1, so still having the slight edge here on this safe lane. With the backup of course, both supports at the moment, both EGM and Sax are sticking around in the wings. And this is going to be something that's going to be pretty key as well. Nikwa's Blink Dagger timing. If they can get that and they can start jumping into the fights that Alliance might be looking for, get level 6 on the Wyvern, get Saxo in with a Winter's Curse, and they have got the potential to hold and to try and turn around the pushes when they come through from Alliance in the mid game.
I mean, I love the Blink Dagger on Slardar just as much as anyone, but do you really want to blink into that team? Like, do you want to blink into Tusk, Bane, Abaddon? Like, that is a really scary team to go into. Loda, though, could be in some trouble here, bottom.
Yeah, they're moving forward. They've got the Arctic Blast, so there's your crush as well. Loda getting body blocked off by Nikwa. He's actually got the sprint, but it doesn't matter. They should still be able to find this one, and they do. EGM takes down his old boss.
Oh, mid as well?
Oh, might see something go on here. Here's the snowball from Nuts. We saw what he's able to do top, but the shackle will be there. Power shot as well, Nuts. Just going a little bit too over-aggressive, and Pycat will punish that and says thanks for the free kill.
I think he would have not been able to get that kill regardless. Tree Armor came in from EGM at a really good time, so he went to try to make a little bit of space. Didn't work out, but he has actually gotten 2 kills so far for his team, so not too bad to give one away.
Ake can get in here with the Nightmare. Pycat, maybe aware that something is going on. He's playing it safe. They do, of course, yeah, look at this ward here in the mid lane. It's just going to spot out. Ake knows exactly what the Bane's up to, so he's not going to give himself up for that one. And Ake unlikely to find anything here at the moment, as Pycat is going to be able to play it fine, play it safe.
I'm really unfamiliar with these types of lineups for Alliance, so I'm wondering when their actual timing is. Like, do they just get one item on the Lone Druid? Like, does he just rush Radiance and they just start trying to 5-man? Does he go for, like, Phase Boots Maelstrom? I guess that right now, since he's got that Glove of Haste, he is opting for the Midas very early on here.
And Bulldog's farm, of course, still very good. 30 foot rate at the moment, top of the CS charts. So he is having the time that Alliance would have hoped him to do so in this safe lane. But as you said, it's all about the timing. And with something a little bit unorthodox from Alliance, we're just going to pretty much have to wait and see what their plan is, as it's...
Well, they're definitely going to 5-man. Like, there's no question about that. Like, they have Lone Druid and they have Lesh.
Yeah.
So they're just waiting for S4 to get whatever farm he needs. Like, if he wants to go for Bloodstone or maybe even Yules this game wouldn't be too bad. You can dispel Silence off yourself if Loda's not in the area. You can set up stuns to get some catch. Like, that's the one thing about Alliance's lineup they're kind of lacking, is they don't have a really good catching hero. So maybe Yules is going to be the item from him. Otherwise, Bloodstone is also great. You can just be that beefy kind of frontline hero with the Lone Druid Bear and just mow down towers with Edict.
Worth noting as well, even though we saw Bambo go down twice in that top lane, he's not doing that bad off the back of it. With 6 minutes in, he is level 5, and he's got a few CS as well. S4 actually chasing down Pycat. Okay, he's trying to get in close, trying to look for a Nightmare. Wasn't able to get it off in time. Nonetheless, Pycat just being forced back. He's got the bolt charges, so he'll be okay. And CS at the moment in the mid lane. S4 now with a slight lead as he did back off and clear up some of the camps in the dire jungle.
And that's even with the help of tree armor. So S4 is doing a really good job in this middle lane. Even starting to prioritize giving Ake a little bit of the farming experience. Because Lesh is really good at farming the woods.
Now, see what the next plan is. S4 just getting himself sent out that energy boost. He's got the arcanes done so he can sustain himself a little bit more with the spell spam in the jungle. And that's your Midas done now on Bulldog. So a couple of big items coming out at this point, 7 minutes in. And it's going to be a timing that I'm sure Bulldog will be very happy with on this Lone Druid.
And right now, it's a very slow-paced game in comparison to what we saw
Let's
last
see
time.
his speed up. There's a Nightmare from Ake, but it's in fact the fight from 4Clovers. They're looking to lead in. They'll get the silence onto Nuts, making sure there's no snowball, no shards. And they'll get themselves a kill onto the Ake Bane, who was looking to go aggressive himself, but 4Clovers, they're ready and they were smoked up. And S4's got to be a bit careful here in the jungle. Was being hunted down by Bambo. He's got the illusions to scout it out here. Bambo. Looks like he's not going to be able to get wind of that one, and he will just get himself out of there. Aware that Lone Druid, Mr. Bulldog's around the corner as well, so doesn't want to get caught out of position here, Bambo.
Oh, we talked about him early, how he was giving away like a kill or two, but in reality, he's still level 5.
Yeah,
so if you compare what he has versus what Loda has, he actually has more CS, and he's starting to be active around the map. Abaddon is one of those heroes where you either 5-man with, or you sit behind one of your carries, very similar to what a Dazzle does. Or you can just be like the YOLO Abba who runs in, and eats spells for his team, so you can proc that ulti. But Daytime's gonna roll around now, so Bambo, not level 6 just yet, doesn't have Darkness. And yeah, it's pretty much just farm, wait until either the Slardar gets a blink, or wait until Bulldog gets his one item to feel confident in pushing, and then just go.
AGM just trying to harass back Loda out of this lane. Now we're going to see 4Clovers. They do get an Invis rune here on Bambo. Maybe they're going to try and do something. Loda, he has just hit level 6, so we'll have borrowed time. And he might just need it here. Bambo moves forward. Loda, there we go. Yeah, they're going to go for it here. Okay, do they have the control? Actually, Loda, I think he popped the ult there straight away.
Yeah,
and now off the back of that, they should be able to find this. And at the same time, they lose the Tusk elsewhere on the map. They'll get the kill on Loda. So 2 heroes going down across the map for Alliance. Ake coming in with the Bane. Gets the Nightmare onto Bambo, but there's no follow-up here to go in as well. And 4Clovers getting themselves 2 very tasty kills.
I'm a bit surprised. I think S4 was maybe healing in the well or something. That's why he didn't TP bottom. But if he was there, it would have been a heck of a lot of damage output. Because again, all those heroes were in fairly close proximity. Loda lived for a long time. That was not a fast
mid lane. S4 if he can get the stun here. He's holding on to it. Pycat looking for the jukes. He'll be able to juke it off. And Pycat does manage to get himself out. Nice little bit of footwork there from the Wind Ranger. If that stun connected, she would have been dead.
Yeah, for sure. I thought he was actually going to hold it because his lightning was going to be up in a second anyway, and the wind run was wearing off like around the same time, so you could have went for the slow into the stun, but after seeing maybe a little bit of rotation, he got a little gun shy, decided not to try to go for it.
Radiant's middle tower.
5 for 2 at the moment. Things looking good for 4Clovers in terms of the kills, but the farm still very good for Alliance. At the top of the CS, both the Lone Druid and this S4 Leshrac. And yeah, Bulldog. It's going to be interesting to see what he goes for here in terms of items. And when he starts to kind of leave his lane or start to at least push down this one and go a bit more aggressive. But at the time, the playstyle that he's going for is certainly paying off, and 4Clovers unable to do anything to punish him at this point in time.
Oh, that's because we haven't seen Nikwa's blink actually come out yet. Like, it's 10 minutes in. He's 1,500 gold right now on top of the treads. So until he gets that, again, like 4CL, we talked about how Alliance don't have a lot of catch. 4CL are pretty much in the same boat. They actually need blink daggers in order to start being able to pick people off.
Here we are from Alliance. This time, it's going to be them looking for the aggression. S4, Nuts and Loader, smoking up now into the Radiant jungle. They know that Nico's working towards that blink. It would be a big kill if they can find it. And here we go with the snowball straight in onto the Slider. The punch is there as well. They will remove Nico from the game. And exactly what they need to be doing, slowing down that blink dagger timing on the Slider.
And here comes the Edict, already level 2, so it does a reasonable amount of damage. And there's no glyph, so this should be actually quite an easy tower for Alliance.
Like
yeah, he's
got
the
the DD.
Yeah.
He'll try and look for a tower trade himself. Alliance sticking themselves down bottom, looking to commit, and it looks like it will just be the tier 1 for the tier 1, so I think 4Clovers will be kind of happy with that one.
Well, I mean, I guess in terms of resources committed, Alliance did more. Like, they brought 3 heroes down there, they use a smoke, and they commit everything for it, so yeah, trading the tier 1 for safe
top lane.
fine.
Alfredo moving on to Saxa. They will cold embrace himself, and Bulldog brings the bear back.
You know, Winter Wyvern's actually got to be one of the better supports against that hero, just for Cold Embrace. Like, as soon as you get a root, you just throw it on him.
He's looking for a wraparound here. Is he going to go for this? 2 heroes, it's just him and Saxa. Saxa does have a Winter's Curse. Bambo positioning himself right around, and he could have gone a Nut straight away with the Void. The Crippling Fear as well. Winter's Curse gets dropped. Bulldog starts hit away as his own Nuts, and Nuts goes down. Now the chase for Bulldog as well. The Arctic Burn slow is there, but they're not going to follow through. Bulldog just a little bit too tanky for the side of 4Clovers to want to go full on aggressive. They actually rotated the full 5-man here from 4Clovers up to this top lane. Bulldog thinking about going back in, but EGM is there on the sidelines. Nature's guys, the Amplify out. Oh, the ult. Oh, a lot of hate coming down onto the bear as it did just connect onto him, not Bulldog himself, as Bulldog will be able to survive. That is Alfredo down. He does have a resummon, not until 30 seconds though, so a bit of time that Bulldog's gonna have to spend on his own.
Oh, S4.
That's the Crippling Fear, and that's his crush. S4 getting caught out position as 4Clovers just catch him as they pretty much just back out of the jungle.
Yeah, well, he was chasing down Pycat near the secret shop, so he got that solo kill. And then obviously 4CL know he's there, so on the way back he just gets caught because he didn't have a TP in his inventory. But he did spend his money before he died.
Oh, Bambo's gonna get haste rune. Is he gonna go for the Bambo?
There's no way, dude. That's an Abba. You don't chase that.
That's, yeah. Level 3 Aphotic Shield, borrowed time. Yeah, let's not try and go for it yet.
It's an interesting style, though, that Alliance are adopting here. They're kind of sacking Loda a bit, using the Lone Druid timing. Just have that really tanky frontline lineup with an Abba shield or 2 to back it up. It's very hard, actually, to deal with that. Because if you look at 4CL's lineup, they don't have really great burst. They're not good at killing Lone Druid when he's in true form. They're not really good at killing Abba either in like a 5 versus 5 engagement. So I think that Alliance, they're still going to be okay as long as they can hit that timing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We'll get the D ward here. So Saxa be feeling a little less comfortable on his own. As I say that, the backup is there, and they might be happy keeping Saxa. The D-Wall comes out, so Alliance think that Saxa's on his own, but they're actually going to find more. Can they get themselves on top of the fight? The crush from Nico catching on to 3, the power shot as well, flies for the wall. The Winter's Curse onto S4. S4, will he go down? Yes, he does. Let's track to fall. They do get EGM here on the tree of protection. Maybe Alliance can turn this. Feed triple to Bambo. They'll take down the Night Stalker. Nico goes back in with the crush again. They found 3 on Alliance. Can Loda get more? He's used the borrowed time here, trying to chase Nico, but Nico's got the sprint to get himself away. Saxa with the Splinter Blast. Pycat has had the Nightmare removed from Saxa, and he'll get himself a triple kill. As Alliance lose 4, Pycat moving in for more with the win run. Wants to try and find an Ultra. There will be a Brain Sap. IK now out of mana, and I think he might be out of luck as well. Power shot from Pycat. Game 1 was the Pycat show, and now on this Wind Ranger Ultra kill at 14 minutes, we may be seeing a bit of a rerun here, Andy.
I mean, that curse from Saxa as well. Like, Pycat, Saxa, there was a 2-man shackle. I think it was a 4-man curse, I want to say. Bulldog was the only one who didn't get hit by it himself, but his bear actually did. So that choke point, they end up smoking in, getting caught in the worst possible way. 3-man crush and a 4-man curse. That was like the worst possible start for Alliance into that team fight.
And off the back of that, the Pycat, 250 gold away from that axe. S4 is going to walk into a Night Stalker here. And Bambo is punching pretty hard with his face boots, and S4 says, take me to Roche, but Pycat there with the snipe. This Wind Ranger getting the kills, and S4 did not want to go at the high ground there.
Yeah, that was... I mean, it's one of those things where you don't really think about it, but a Night Stalker at this stage in the game, if you're alone as a Lesh, you can't really do anything, right? Like, you don't have any escape mechanism, you didn't go Yules, you're going for Bloodstone, so you can't dispel the silence. Like, there's a lot of reasons why, like, this particular game is going to get really hard for Alliance soon if they can't get their 5-man going.
This is going to be Roche going the way of 4Clovers. Alliance, they don't have an answer at the moment. Aegis, yeah, Pyke will take it. Drops his null tally, and he's there at this point. And Loda is all alone. Saxa just trading hits. Looks like the side won't go for him. They'll go for the Tusk as they caught him out with his shackle. So 4Clovers yet again finding the kills, finding the Roshan, and the momentum is certainly now there for the Radiant.
Yeah, the first reveal of the Blink Dagger from Nikwa came in really big for 4CL this game. He did have that one unfortunate death, but as soon as they went top and killed the bear, they gave him all the money he needed to be able to finish the item. So I think that bear pick off into the really good team fight for 4CL just put them in such a dominant position. And after having smoked up here, they're just looking for a little bit more. Alliance in force though in the area.
Okay, well, they're gonna walk in. EGM, the Nature's guys is gonna be right for the time being. S4 moving in, looking for more. Still smoked up. 4Clovers, they're going to jump straight onto S4. There is the miscoil hill. Can they keep it alive with the snowball? They can. Maybe they can turn. But no, the ult comes out from EGM. They catch them out. Alliance, can they stay alive? They've taken down the Winter Wyvern. They're moving on to Pycat as well. Pycat gets the power shot off. He takes down S4 and he's got the Aegis. Pycat's going to be there for round 2. But Alliance, they're still in pretty good full force. 4 of them still alive on this map. Bambo's caught out here by the entangle from Lone Druid. The bash goes through. They should be able to find this Bambo trying to run, trying to hide, trying to juke it. He might just turn though because Pycat with a focus fire onto Nuts gets the kill on Tusk, and now double kill. Can he get himself any more? Pycat, the power shot, won't be able to find the kill on Ake himself, but the team does get it. Now with the shackle onto Loda. Loda falls as well to avoid from Bambo, and now Bulldog, he's on his own, has to get himself away from this, and it's not even over. Nikwa gets the crush. Bulldog holding on to his dogger, but he might have to say bye. No, not today. Pycat takes the kill. Mercy on the privacy of Dong. And it's 19 for 9 though, and again, another fight that 4Clovers, they're just taking them every time again in game 2.
Well, to be fair, if Pycat didn't have Aegis there, I think Alliance would have ended up winning that fight, for sure. But the unfortunate part is amplified damage plus focus fire hurts a hell of a lot, who would have thought? Even though Alliance did a really good job of keeping S4 alive for a long time, actually. We're going to get to see it again.
Let's have a look at this
I mean,
one. Score Esports. Get it up.
This team fight was really interesting because S4 gets caught out. His team's actually quite far away, but you can see they open up on him. Shield comes in from Loda and a snowball, so he actually brings S4 back into the middle of the fight, which ends up setting up a curse. And during this whole time, S4 is only dealing damage to one person, because Pycat's the only person in the area. Nikwa gets time to reset his crush, goes back in, hits 3 heroes, Aegis eventually gets popped, and at this point, Alliance are pretty much out of gas. They got no Leshrac left, so their damage output is pretty much nil, and the rest of them kind of just have to run it off. I mean, we're going to see the silence onto the bear as well. That was pretty clutch from Bambo, and an invis from EGM, which pretty much allows them both to kind of walk away with the increased movement speed. But this whole fight was just because of Aegis. Like, if Pycat trades his own life for S4, I think that they actually end up winning that. But sometimes, you know, they gave away Roshan because they couldn't win the team fight top, and obviously 4CL have a good lineup for it, and that's just Dota.
Radiant's middle tower
Absolutely,
is
in
under
4Clovers. They're looking to Dota all over
Look at
Alliance
how many
now.
wards they had, by the way, in the same spot. This is not what I would call the most efficient warding. It's just 3 in a row.
The Orion's belt of warding hit from Alliance. And, well, they're going to be able to look up to the stars, Jackie Mao style, and ask for something here if they want to turn this. It's looking good for 4Clovers. Pycat with a focus fire onto S4. The Aphotic Shield isn't enough to save him, it is just. They'll get S4 out of him. Oh, Nikwa with the Bleak Crush onto 3. The Winter's Curse onto Loda. Can they turn this one Alliance? I don't know if they can. Bulldog's just TPing himself out. He wants to hold on to his manhood, and he will. He gets himself away, but Ake won't be as lucky. Loda now in the retreat. Borrowed time has already been used in fight. The Void Slow is there. They close in. The Crush from Nikwa. They take themselves a third. 3 kills for 4Clovers, and once more, Alliance have nothing to show.
I gotta say, Nikwa, he did a little bit of an interview yesterday, said he didn't feel comfortable about how he played. I'd say this game more than makes up for any errors he made in the previous series. He has actually gotten like the best crushes that I've seen so far in the tournament. He's hitting like 3 heroes on average. Like, who does that? Who actually hits that many heroes every single time you go in for a Blink initiation?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alliance, I mean, they're going to need something big here, Andy.
Well, they did pick something that's a little bit unorthodox, and when that happens, sometimes you might not have a clear idea of like when the lineup is supposed to come online, like what items you make and what heroes to make sure that your lineup really comes to its full potential. And I'm not sure if that's exactly what happened this game, but I don't really feel like Alliance are totally comfortable playing this.
Still 20 minutes in. The overall difference here on the graph, as we saw 10k in terms of gold, 7.5k in terms of XP. I mean, it's not something that we've never seen a team turn around before. But the way that 4Clovers are playing today and what we saw from them the other day as well, they've just been on absolute form this tournament, and at this land, they seem to be just gelling perfectly as a team.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple of close calls, though. Like that last team fight in the woods, I still think that was Alliance's fight, had they not had 2 lives in the Wind Ranger. But the other thing, too, that I didn't really think about in the draft, but the Night Stalker actually just annihilates Lone Druid with silence, because you can just put it on the bear. And a bear with a 50% miss chance is a sad bear. Like, you're putting all your money into that thing, and it just can't hit anyone. So I'm not really sure when this hero is supposed to come online for Alliance, but it's got to be soon.
Picap takes himself the tower. Alliance trying to take a tier 1 in return on the top. And they should be able to, so they do get themselves the trade. Bambo knows that Ake is there. Did see him come past this Radiant Ward, and Ake is just going to CP himself straight out here. Whether someone may be looking for him, and Bulldog will find the top tier 1. Meanwhile, Picap, he got himself, of course, that tier 1 on the bottom, and now he's looking to take more. Takes a tier 2, so a 2-for-1 tower trade favoring the side of 4Clovers. More and more money into their pockets, and Picap, he's been having a great morning, Andy.
He really has. I think he's, so far, in both games, he's died 1 time.
Yeah.
1 time. That's actually incredible. So, going forward in the game, 4CL, they're just going to look to try to control the map with a Night Stalker. That's one benefit that you always have with this hero, is you can just pressure the enemy team, pop darkness, force them back in their base, get map control that way.
Bulldog, if they lose him here, he's got to run. Bambo. Okay, focusing on the bear here with the amplifier and the focus fire. That is going to be the bear down. They do heal it up a little bit. Nikwa goes in with the crush, though. The power shot to throw for as well. There's a Fiend's Grip onto Nikwa. Maybe they could turn this if they've got the control to burst it, but the Wizards goes out. Nikwa just walks it off. He gets himself out of that, regardless of how many ults Alliance throw down on him. They just could not kill the Slardar, and 4Clovers are able to safely disengage.
I'm not really sure how Alliance kill a hero at this point. Like, you're hoping for an entangle, a Fiend's Grip, or like a good stun combination, I suppose, in order to kill. But S4 is not really tanky enough to lose the team fights. Just having a Bloodstone at 23 minutes when the Wind Ranger has Desolator, Ags, Blink, that's not enough. Like, you're actually just going to die in a focus fire, regardless of whether or not the Abaddon puts a shield on you. And that's also something, like, harkening back to what the panel said. Peter's like, just pick damage. Don't really have to pick like a ton of single target disables. Just pick straight up damage and kill the hero you want to kill. He will not be able to heal through the damage, and that's kind of the way that Picap's making this Wind Ranger right now.
EGM, oh, he's actually been pinged out here. They do know he's around. They're actually they're just running away from EGM. Aware that there may be more heroes Nature's guised up on the side of 4Clovers. It's not the case, but they really don't want to take any risks like that at the moment, Alliance. I mean, talking about the Nature's, the Treant Protector as well. More than halfway towards that Aghanims, and that is not going to make things pretty for Alliance.
Yeah, this is getting to a stage in the game where Alliance are going to have to go for some crazy smoke play, or maybe hope that 4CL overextend. That would be one way to get themselves back in. A couple of lucky entangles can take you a long way, but I really think against Wyvern and Slardar, Lone Druid's just really not that good. Between the two of them, your bear is just not tanky because amplified damage. We saw how fast Alfredo dies, right? You focus fire and an amp and he's just a goner. The other thing is if you entangle and you drop a Cold Embrace on that hero, Alliance don't really have a ton of magical damage outside of just the Lesh. And we've already seen how hard of a time S4 has living, even with the Tusk and the Ava both in the area.
Let's see what the next point of call is here from the side of 4Clovers. I mean, we're talking about the Ags on the tree, and there's of course going to be an Ags on Bambo fairly shortly, so yeah, they're going to have all of the vision this game.
They really, really will. And Alliance are going to be pretty sad about it, I think.
And to the Roshan pit. Nikwa and Picap ready to go to work with the Deso and the Amplify. This is going to be a very easy one, and no chance of Alliance even thinking about trying to contest it in time. As
it's going to be dead so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, Alliance's team isn't even really that great fighting around the Roshan pit. That's another thing about their lineup. They can kill Rosh, but they're not really good at fighting in enclosed spaces, where You got multiple like blink initiations on 4CL. Saksa also having his blink dagger now, of course, on top of the glimmer. And it's going to be an Abyssal Blade rush here for Bulldog, I suppose.
Okay. I mean, we talked about the potential of them getting a kill. If they can, you know, successfully focus down one of the heroes,
Yeah.
they should be able to find something. But at the same time, it's just a question of whether they can live through what 4Clovers is going to be throwing back at them.
Well, there's a couple of big problems. The first one is Alliance cannot push out waves because Night Stalker. I mean, right now they have Darkness Pop, so no one really feels that comfortable leaving the base. They have essentially no vision. They have one ward top near the rune, but that's it. All right, daytime rolls around now, so maybe they'll feel a little bit more comfortable. But even in that sense, no one's really that good at pushing out the waves. A lot of times you see people who play Lone Druid just buy Radiance and Maelstrom to push out the creeps, but he's gone for Abyssal Blade. So he has absolutely zero wave clear. This is a full damage utility build inside of a team fight. So if he's not doing that, I mean, look at this bear does not really kill the creep wave that fast. How are you going to try to force 4CL to react to anything that you're doing if you can't even push out more than one wave at a time?
Dire's top tower
There we have
is
it,
under
4Clovers. You're talking about the push of Alliance, and it is certainly the push of 4Clovers that's incredibly
Dire's
fast.
top tower has fallen.
Pycat and his build with this death save. Absolutely perfect for the way that this game's gone. And the way that they found themselves in positions just to push down lanes and take towers.
He's got a DD. He can just focus fire the tower. Like, there's Glyph, but Alliance are going to have a really rough time winning a team fight right now.
As 4 comes through. Starting to lead the defense. Loader and Ake there to back him up. Forcing back the Wind Ranger. Cleaning up the creep wave here with the Pulse Nova. And there we have it. There is the
Okay, there we
Radiance
go.
now done as well.
He disassembled. Okay. Yeah, he bought the relic, so it completed the Abyssal, then he disassembles to buy the Radiance.
Which I think, as you were saying, at this point where you're playing from behind, needing to clear these waves,
Yeah,
it's the right move.
You need wave
You
push
need
for sure.
something like the Radiance. Now 4Clovers. Just outside the base here. Do of course have this Axe on Bambo, so they can see in. And if anyone comes too close, okay. Okay.
Oh, they went for the force step there. That would have been nice.
Okay, they've got themselves the shackle. Looking to not follow at the moment, just getting the silence up to Loader. Just teasing with Alliance at the moment. Bulldog doing his best here with the Radiant Spare to push out the other lanes as they hold the high ground up top.
I mean, this tower is still taking a lot of damage, and they haven't committed the double damage rune yet. So Pycat, he can save it for the fight if he wants, or he can just pop it to ensure that they actually kill the tower.
And there you go, Blink Crush from Nico straight onto S4. This damage, the Shackle will latch onto S4 and Ake. Winter's Curse as well, S4 disappears. They're focusing onto Nuts as well as he tries to get himself out. The bear will go down, there'll be a snowball in, but 4Clovers still ready to fight. EGM been cold embraced up. Can they do this again? They're getting them incredibly low and they do find the kill onto the trip, but Nico with a 4-man crush. Pycat with this damage onto Ake. There will be a brain stout keeping Ake alive, but the win run 4 from Pycat. He gets himself a triple kill, and is he done now? He's out of mana. He's got to get himself out of this one. He does have the Aegis. Now, can they kill this Wind Ranger a second time? That's going to be the question here. They're going to do their best here. Maybe they can. It would be a huge kill if they can find it. Pycat trying to turn and trying to fight with a focus fire, but they're not going to be able to do it. They'll lose Pycat on the Wind Ranger.
Okay.
And that is a beyond godlike streak ended. So 1,400 gold going to Loader. And I think that's pretty much the best bit of action we've seen from Alliance All Series. That is a huge fight for them to take.
I mean, that was with a double damage on the Wind Ranger, too. That whole fight kicked off. Like, they lose S4 immediately, and I mean, that's 4CL's primary target every engagement, because he's the main source of damage coming out from them. And he buys back, and it's well worth it, even if he died back there. But I think it's worth it just to make sure that they didn't even get the tier 3 tower. That's going to be a little sigh of relief for Alliance. They can now start pushing out waves. And maybe Bulldog can get himself another item on top of what he already has. I think MKB is going to have to be on the menu for him, since the Wind Ranger is such a big issue during these engagements. You just need something that can actually kill him even through the wind run.
Amplifying the bear. I mean, this bear taking so much damage once that armor reduction is down.
Yeah, that's a second bear too. He can't afford to lose that one. Actually, it's only 30 seconds.
30 seconds to resummon.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Radiant structures are
Fortification will come out. 4Clovers, they're going to have Pycat back up in 5 seconds, and looks like that's going to be enough for Alliance to just hold back, play it safe. I mean, if Alliance can kind of hold as they were and take fights like that when 4Clovers go aggressive, there is going to be the potential for them to turn this one around.
To be fair, 4CL went very aggressive.
They did go very.
They did not play objective gaming. They played base dive
They
gaming.
probably won't be doing that again.
Yeah, I would assume probably not. The other thing they can do is, since they do have the Night Stalker at their disposal with the Aghanims, all they have to do is just control the map, wait for the next Roshan to spawn, go for the cheese.
Saxa, he's going to be the one tanking this. Straight up Fiend's Grip. They walk into this one. The Alliance will find a kill with the smoke. Maybe not the biggest one they wanted to, but I think at this point they'll take what they can get. I mean, Wyvern's still down for 50 seconds. This could be a good time for Alliance to try and force a fight.
Well, the other thing, too, that's nice is now that the Radiance is actually up on the Bear, they have some other ways to push out lanes, you know? Like S4 and the Bear can push out 2 waves separately. They want to go on this.
Yeah, they've chosen to try and find this fight. They don't quite connect the snowball onto Bambo. Oh, Nequit gets the crush onto 2. It's like 4Clovers are the ones here that have got to get themselves out the shards. Oh, they're
really
going to
good.
block them in here. The Bear will get taken down. There is a resummon available. And here we go. Alliance trying for the fight. Moving in with the Bear. Going on to Bambo. They'll get the entangle. Bambo in trouble. He will go down. EGM stuck in the tree line, but the Radiance burn is burning him down. And he'll get the kill. Alliance taking down 3 over the course of that last minute. The Wyvern was already dead, of course, but taking 2 down on top as well. And Alliance showing that they can still take these fights when 4Clovers are a man down.
Those shards were actually like amazing. Like trapping all 3 heroes in that enclosed space, knowing that Bulldog has a resummon at that point. Came off cooldown after pushing the tier 1 mid, so 4CL getting a little bit sloppy here, losing a lot. They already gave away 1 gem. Did they have the other one still on the courier? Alright, maybe they lost them both. If they lost both gems, then that's a huge issue. Yeah, they did. Okay, so they just lost 2 gems. One pushing top and the one where they just fought inside of the woods there. So there is no more dewarding potential coming out unless they want to invest back into sentries, and that's a really nice thing for Alliance. They get 2 towers off that. They get high priority kills. I'd say they're almost back in this game.
Absolutely, and this is a kind of position that we see Alliance play from. You know, if they don't have the great start, and if they just win a couple of fights, there seems to be something about the team's kind of synergy where they just get this momentum going, and they know exactly what to do with it. We saw them obviously take the 2 towers down the mid lane. They get a pick off. They take themselves a team fight. And as we can see on the graph, it is really starting to turn around back towards the favor of Alliance. They pretty much got to say, I mean, taking 1 more team fight should do it. But 4Clovers, they're still obviously in the favored position at this point. And they're going to actually smoke up and look for a fight themselves here.
This is 2 fresh BKBs on 4CL, by the way. 10-second BKB on the Sardar, 10-second BKB on Pycat. This is a very strong power spike for 4CL. So even though Alliance won the last 2 fights, it's very hard to take fights when your primary damage dealer is Lesh, and there's 2 10-second BKBs. So they need to try to like bait 4CL into fighting them inside of the base, similar to what they did when Pycat had Aegis. Try to make them get overconfident and dive you. That's how you win that fight. And also hope you have buybacks.
Well, we saw there 4Clovers, they don't find anything with the smoke. S4, looking for a bit of a bait hit. Liver Nuts were hanging behind, ready to initiate with the snowball if anyone jumped. It wasn't going to be the case. And Bulldog just trying to work towards that Assault Cuirass now for his bear. That's the Hyperstone. And Roshan, it's going to be up any second. And this could be the next big point. We've seen 4Clovers, when they get that Aegis onto Pycat, they go very aggressive, and well, we saw them take the first fight. The second fight was when they went a little bit too ham and dove. So if they're able to take that away from 4Clovers, I think they're going to feel a little more confident trying to take a team fight against the Radiant. Because they know that Pycat isn't going to have that second chance to get out that huge burst of damage with the focus fire.
Yeah.
They need to contest this.
It's so hard though, still. Like this timing again, we talked about 4CL's fresh BKBs. It's so difficult to fight into them when you just don't have the physical damage output yet. Like Bulldog's getting there, you know, he's got the AC done, but he still doesn't have MKB for the Windrunner. And he could just lose the bear here.
Yep, straight in onto the bear. The bear will go down here. He does not... Oh wait, did he use the reset? Yeah, he's got the resummon. Okay, so the bear's back out. Nequid gets the crush onto S4. Amplifies down as well. BKB's now been popped. They're looking to try and fight this one loader. Let's call it here in EGM's ultimate. They've got the Nut Snowball flying through, but the Winter's Curse to follow through. Beautiful planning from Saxa, ready to try and turn this loader. Gets off the borrowed time. Nuts will be the first to fall here in this fight. The Fiend's Grip is there onto Nequid, but the Shackle Shot will cancel the channeling of the Bane. And now they're looking to find more. The crush again from Nequid gets S4. S4's now down. Loader's been silenced up. He has got the Aphotic Shield, buying himself some time, but it's a double kill for Pycat. Nequid getting the kill onto Loader. And now they're moving in for more. Bulldog on the retreat. They've got to get themselves the hell out of there. The Shackle, buying time for Nequid to get himself in with the crush. There's a buyback on Loader. Alliance desperately trying to turn this. The Snowball's there, the Shards as well. But this could not be the fight for Alliance if they lose Nuts and if they lose more as well. It is just going to be nuts as Loda plays it safe for Bulldog. But that was a dieback on the Tusk. They forced out the buyback from Loda, who was unable to do anything on the Abaddon. And now, with the side of 4Clovers, they'll just back up and take Roche. As you said, it was not going to be an easy fight for Alliance, and it was exactly that, Andy.
Well, they just showed their priority in the team fight. If you watch what happened, obviously Bulldog loses his first bear. 4CL realized, okay, this is the only physical damage threat on Alliance's team, is the bear. So Saksa curses it when they respawn. They amp it, they kill it right away. At that point, Bulldog has like over 10,000 net worth on something that doesn't even exist. Dead. No bear means no team fight win for Alliance. S4 could not deal enough damage with his entire mana bar to kill any of the heroes on 4CL because nobody else does damage. They just don't have any DPS if Alfredo's dead.
This is looking very good once again for 4Clovers, 30-14. As we saw there, the little swing that Alliance managed to bring back round in the graph has pretty much been negated as it heads back to the lead that 4Clovers did have beforehand. Things coming out the jungle. They know that this S4 is around. Nikwa, he's going to be a bit off the mark there with the blink. Was hoping to find S4 running off to the right, but S4 will be able to juke it off. And he has got the TP, will get himself out safely. Bambo, ready to look for more. Bulldog and Ake in the mid lane. Bambo leading forward here. There's the point on the bear, the Crippling Fear. They just want to try and take down this bear. The focus fire from Pycat. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not this time. Alliance will be able to keep Alfredo alive. But 4Clovers, it's like they might try and go for the high ground push. They know that these buybacks are going to be on cooldown for both Loda and Nuts. They can kill Loda once more. May be able to just finish this one. Take the series to 0. Pycat, he finds the top tier 3. But I think what we're seeing from 4Clovers, and what we've seen pretty much from their performance over the last 2 days, these guys, they've learned to be quite disciplined, haven't they?
Yeah, they've actually upped their game quite a bit. I'm very impressed with how they don't go for the YOLO plays quite as much. When you have players like Sexy Bambo on your team, EGM, even Pycat can get a little over-aggressive from time to time. It's very refreshing to see them rein it in, you know, not going for the crazy stuff. We saw a tiny glimpse of it when they were diving Alliance, but I think they were just overconfident because they had Aegis and double damage. So, I mean, I can kind of understand where they're coming from in that regard, but for now, they're just holding Alliance inside of their base. They know that no one really has a whole heck of a lot of money on the side of Dire, and in fact, no one can even buy back. Like, not a single person on Alliance has the money for it right now.
And just controlling the lanes here. Pycat will move in. Starts to go for a bit of damage here onto the tier 3. Links himself out. It's just going to be pretty much the slow siege here from 4Clovers. We're yet to see them go fully ham. They do have that Aegis on Pycat, so they do have potential to try and do so. But they won't, as we were saying, want to go as ham as they did on that push on the top lane. There's a nightmare onto Nikwa. Very nicely taken off by Pycat, so Nikwa can duke out the stun. And now the shackle latches onto S4. They'll try and move forward, but the Aphotic Shield will remove that. And 4Clovers just keeping the force inside the base. S4 trying to move in with the Pulse Nova. Pycat, he's been infielded up, but he's still doing a hefty bit of damage here with this right click. Tier 3 now, sitting at less than half health. Nikwa gets the crush onto the bear. Can they take down this bear? No, bear will get forced back. The stun now connecting onto Nikwa. Nuts going forward the water punch, but Nikwa gets healed up. He's back up to full health, and now the Windsor's Curse onto S4. They're trying to fight. Alliance actually moving straight forward. The BKB's coming out on Nikwa. He gets the crush out onto S4. Bambo looks to focus the bear with Pycat's focus fire, and they do. They take down the bear. They take down S4. The damage from Pycat's win range is too much. They will lose Saxa on the side of 4Clovers. The bear's now being resummoned, but the shackle, it latches onto the bear, and Ake crush from Nikwa catches out 3. They've lost Bambo though, and now the buyback from the S4. They're looking to turn this one. Pycat gets the BKB, the blink out just in time. Will retreat off to the left. EGM might not be as lucky. Hiding in the tree line here. S4 is chasing him down with Loda, Bulldog, and Ake. EGM. Oh. Yeah, they've got the vision. They've got him. Okay, so again, Alliance are able to take these fights where 4Clovers are starting to seem to struggle a bit when it comes to breaking the high ground.
There was a couple of small mistakes there that 4CL made. First and foremost, Saksa, very uncharacteristic, cursing the wrong target. Like, Pycat was focus firing the bear, and Saksa cursed the person next to the bear instead of the bear itself, which means you take the less damage, right? So his focus fire was kind of wasted. At that point, 15 seconds doesn't sound like a long time, but in these team fights where damage can be dealt very quickly, 15 seconds is an eternity. So he didn't really have it up to kill the bear fast enough. And by the time the second bear was out, it just didn't matter.
Bulldog, he's been found out. Nikra and Pycat. Pycat will take the kill, chat, so calm down. S4, now he wants to try and find something of revenge. He's got the Yule step here onto Nikra. Nikra, he's got the BKB, and BKB will come out. He turns around, pops down the Amplify. Amplifies himself there because the Lotus Orb was dropped onto S4 by Loader. Looks like that's going to be the end of that fight.
That's 4CL still firmly holding lead over this game, and we haven't talked about it much because, I mean, it's a tree, and a lot of times there's not really much to say. But EGM having the Aghanims for a little while now means that he can start placing those eyes in the forest everywhere, keeping the lanes pushed out, makes it that much harder for Alliance to really get themselves back into this game. As a late game support, Treant is one of the best in the business for that kind of thing. You just de-push by yourself. Like, you don't even need your team to leave a single lane. You can just do everything on your own.
There we go. Pycat takes down the range racks with incredible ease. Focus Fire is going to be back up in 8 seconds. And you can look to try into that melee. They've still got 20 seconds without Bulldog here, Alliance. Now 4Clovers still trying to keep themselves as safe as possible. Making sure that a repeat doesn't happen of what has the last couple of times when they've tried to break the base.
I gotta say, Alliance have done a pretty phenomenal job at minimizing the losses, considering 4CL has had a decent lead this entire game, more or less.
Pycat, oh, S4. S4, he's a little bit far out. Will Yules himself up here. Could still be in trouble. The crush is out. S4 just melts to the damage of Pycat. Nuts has come rolling in. They will get the attack onto Saxa, but there's the overgrowth coming out from EGM. Winter's Curse holding Bulldog in place as the bear, it's gone rabid. It starts to eat away as its owner. Bulldog has to get himself back up, but the focus fires too much. Double kill for Pycat on this Wind Ranger. Nuts on the retreat, gets the snowball out, but Pycat with the BKB ready to continue to fight. Goes out with the shackle, it connects. They'll find Nuts, they'll find Loader, and they'll get Ake as well. Triple kill for Pycat. GG well played is called. And 4Clovers take